Rinse selection. But remember, there's only one race, and that's the human race, okay? There's only one race, and that's the human race, okay? Rinse selection. But there's only one race, and that's the human race, okay? there's only one race, and that's the human race, okay?